Hi everyone, I'm Coco from the blog. Today I'm very honored to have my guest, Marwan from BNB Chain. And he recently moved to Dubai and he is now the head of EMEA of BNB Chain. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Coco. Nice to be here and kind of have this conversation with you.
Yeah, so you were originally living in London before and you recently moved to Dubai. Any new feelings, anything exciting? How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel like I've moved from the world of TradFi to the world of DeFi, and capitals that is. So it's kind of a real different change of environment. People are very upbeat, and actually it feels a lot more global here. Surprisingly, I know people say London is like like one of the global cities,
yeah.
But Dubai, like you are feeling, at least I feel it, like definitely feels very global and a lot of like a big crypto community as well. So
Yeah,
great place to be.
For sure. It's a very open crypto community here.
Yes.
So I guess that's also very beneficial for development of a BNB chain development ecosystem.
Correct. I think historically London has been great to kind of connect with like institutional capital.
Yeah.
TradFi players, which of course is increasingly coming on chain and to BNB. But I think being in in Dubai has helped me meet a lot more developers, a lot more kind of developer friendly VCs who are building here and as well. And like an event like this, people come from all over the world. I think you have a lot more of that here in Dubai.
Yeah, it's very vibrant in Dubai, very hot, but also a lot of things going on.
Yeah, we're managing it. We're in the AC now. So.
Exactly. So yeah, how do you feel moving here and working with BNB Chain? Is there anything exciting that you want to share with the audience today?
I think in terms of being here in Dubai, I think is really just like a doubling down of BNB Chain's efforts to expand its reach globally and primarily in EMEA. Of course, London's been a great place to do that, but I think Dubai helps us cover a lot more of the region. So BNB Chain actually is very big, has a lot of roots in the CIS region, kind of Central and Eastern Europe. A lot of that great developer talent is here as well. So, we can also serve that. But in general, I think the key focus is on serving developers, great founding teams wherever they are in the world. And of course, there are many geos that are very strong for us, but I think doubling down on EMEA, we think is great. And especially now, at a summer like this, focusing on AI, I think Europe does have like disproportionately competitive AI talent. We have a lot of great research institutions. And so I think being close to that talent is very important for us to kind of bring more of those AI-friendly developers on chain.
Yeah, and I realized CZ has been spending a lot of time in Dubai as well.
Yeah.
And how does that affect the BNB chains and your work daily?
Yeah, I think what I will say is that I think CZ is such a strong kind of leader, in tech and in crypto, and I think having him be more engaged in the public discourse that you can see around BNB and around kind of crypto innovation is, I think, send a strong signal to the developer community to kind of explore, build, innovate more in the space. And I think we're seeing, even more and more developers build on BNB as a result.
Nice. That's very good to hear. So in terms of your daily work, you do a lot of incubation, investment, I'm sure you are here to share more of the insight of what kind of help that you would provide to, the developers that is building on BNB chain so that, there are a lot of people, talents out there, I'm sure they will hear your insightful, inspiring conversations. Yeah, do share.
Yeah. So I think primarily what we're focusing on right now on BNB is like, how do we grow the on-chain internet economy, right? And that means having a lot of liquidity, a lot of great developers building great products. If we can do that, it will be kind of, we'll see a much more seamless entry point for new capital and even more users to come on chain. And so we're doubling down quite aggressively on AI. We're doubling down on DeFi and kind of new consumer innovative social applications. And I think to some degree, you might argue that a lot of other chains are doing the same, and there's like no shortage of chains in the space. But I think there are very few chains that actually offer unique distribution power. And like BNB, people might not realize, but is basically one of the largest, if not the largest, in terms of that distribution power. So that means one of the top destinations for liquidity, the largest retail user base on chain, and actually even in terms of within DeFi, like we have the biggest market for stablecoins in terms of people actually using stablecoins. So like what matters for a chain is not just liquidity, but actual users, right? People using this every day for things that matter. So we're spending a lot of time by actually supporting founders in terms of helping them incubate new products, accelerating founders that are already building this space through MVB, which is a collaboration we have with Easy Labs, and now increasingly direct investments as BNB Chain as an ecosystem to better align those incentives, because it is a much bigger space now for chains, and I think developers have more choice and they want to align their incentives early with the right chain, with the right home chain. So we're building very strong in that space.
Yeah, BNB Chain does have a very strong name out there, and I'm sure like your job is incredibly difficult and complex and very challenging as you're growing such a big ecosystem. And I think there's a vision from BNB Chain, also Binance, and overall the ecosystem of like onboarding more users.
Yeah.
As you mentioned previously, stablecoins and more users are actually using it. What other plans that other than those initiatives? Are there any other things that you want to share in terms of onboarding more users?
Yeah, in terms of more users, look, I think ultimately we want to go to where users are, right? So let's think about it in this case. Stablecoin adoption has been very strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially last year, and we kind of in this year as well, we see kind of growing volume.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we made a very early bet on, for example, the new WFI USD1 stablecoin, which has kind of grown in momentum, and it's now one of its biggest liquidity. Last time I checked, was on chain on BNB. And so we've really doubled down on that bet, and we are now making it gas free. So if you're bringing USD1 from any exchange or any other destination, bringing that to BNB is easier. So I think it's kind of making those more bold moves early to grow a new ecosystem from scratch, which I think is something we're doing better now than perhaps in the past.
That's huge. That's huge. That is huge.
It's a big stable-coin. And look, you might argue there are many in the space, but I think, and this is my own personal take, I think we'll start to see a little bit more consolidation in the future about which stablecoins really become the major ones. So I think we're helping support that next wave.
So you're kind of welcoming all sort of stablecoins to form the partnership with you guys. And
Yeah, exactly. That's right. We had about 8 new stablecoins launched on BNB Chain this Q1, early Q2 alone.
Great.
So new wave, and they're coming to BNB because they realize there's a lot more liquidity, more users, and I think obviously, as you mentioned, CZ being more present, I think is just a great signal to the ecosystem.
Yeah, amazing. And my last question would be, so obviously stablecoins being used hugely on chain. Do you see any, those liquidity you bring on BNB Chain also have an effect or impact in, people's in real life? Because since, Dubai is also such a, crypto-friendly city, is there any other things, for example, last year PayFi was huge, and this year I think this is like the new trends.
No.
How do you see those new trends, and where do you see BNB Chain is like evolving?
Yeah, so I think PayFi has been something we've been talking about. A lot of people have been talking about in the space for a while.
Yeah.
I still feel like it hasn't taken off completely. I think that the bet that we're hoping to make is that AI agents will be a lot more effective in helping that with PayFi. So if you think about crypto in general, I think a lot of users still find it very complex to use. Like sometimes you might argue, and it's a lot better now than it is in the past, but blockchain technology is actually easier for AI agents and AI in general to understand than humans. And we actually think that if we build the best infrastructure, and this is where we're investing a lot, for new AI agents to be built, then actually that whole PayFi piece that you talk about will have much greater potential. And we do believe that in the future, AI agents will be kind of making these payments on behalf of their users. And that's something we're doubling down on. And obviously, in the UAE, there's a lot of great talent, a lot of investment in the space. So it makes sense to be here. But obviously, at the end of the day, we'll go and reach developers globally, wherever they are.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for sharing all the insight. And it's great to have you on our panel.
Thanks, Coco.
Thank you.
Thank you.